If you like what you hear in this podcast and want to help us keep the lights on, then you could support us on Ko-fi for as little as a £1 one-off donation. The links are in the episode description. Thanks for your support. This is Skipped, the podcast where we tell you, in our opinion, which albums are unskippable and which ones belong in the skip. I'm Mike.
I'm Rob.
And today, I actually have a skip on my driveway. That's unrelated. We are covering... I don't know why I felt the need to include all of my home renovation facts. There will be other facts throughout this episode, just not on home renovation. Because today we are talking about the album 30, which is by Adele. This suggestion comes to us from Christine, who is somebody that I work with. I got to say, she's actually one of the biggest cheerleaders for the show. So I know that Christine will be listening to this while she's driving somewhere.
Woo!
So Christine, don't crash! Don't crash! That guy's too close.
Get off your phone!
Get off your phone! Stop listening to us! Stop it! So I know that she'll be doing that. And, you know, I'm really thankful for the support that she's given the show and kind of all the... She's been passing it around to friends and her family, which is really great. And we love it. And we love you. This album, though, we'll get into that. Because you asked for one that, I'll be honest with you, you told me, Christine, that this was the right one. This was the correct album. And then you'd pulled a mic, hadn't you? Because what you did was remember an album that you wanted us to listen to, but you didn't do what I did, which was change my mind and put the right one in. You kept this one. So, and actually, whilst this is... She said it's a no skipper for her. She actually meant 25.
Okay.
So we've listened to 30, and she's not changed her answer because she said, oh, you've already started, it's fine, carry on. So this isn't what she thinks is an unskippable album, but you know what? It's good to hear some new music.
Yes, I completely agree. And that's all you're getting from me today. Thank you for listening. No, this is the first time I've ever sat down and listened to an Adele album.
Oh,
I will be honest.
Yeah, same.
She came up during the time when I was at uni, so it was very much I was in my I do not want to listen to anything other than what I want to listen to era, and I kind of continued that up until this album came out, and then after that I started listening to new music.
Yep.
And then went back to the old stuff again because I like my music.
And the interesting thing with this album is that it, even though it follows the trend of being named after a year in her life, it's actually the one where it doesn't actually align properly.
No, because she announced the name on her 31st birthday as a joke, saying that she wouldn't follow the convention anymore.
Yep. And then did it.
Then did it anyway because it was funny.
It's funny, and also a nice red number, and it kind of like is, I guess, the end of this phase of albums she's doing. We don't know what comes after this.
Only she will know.
Because this is a fairly recent album, isn't it?
And this was 2021.
Okay, so her latest, but by no means
good
up to
4
date.
years.
Yeah, so it's had time to ruminate, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You got any interesting trivia about this one at all?
Well, this was Adele's 4th studio album, as say, released in November 2021, and it followed a 6-year gap after the release of 25. It was actually recorded between 2018 and early 2020, so a long recording process. And they actually had to delay the launch due to that lovely, lovely pandemic that happened.
Are we allowed to start calling it the pandemic now?
I will always refer to it as the pandemic, because I think if you call it by its proper name, then you get demonetized on different platforms, which is very weird.
My favourite sidestep of that was when, I think it was Game Grumps, of all places, started calling it the Backstreet Boys Reunion Tour.
Oh, wow.
And I like that one. So
I've been calling it Corvid, because it's when I took my partner to meet a famous crow on the internet. Yes, we went to meet Loki the crow.
Hang on, this is an actual thing.
Well, he's a raven, technically.
Oh.
Which is a part of the Corvid family.
I'm aware. Weirdly, as having a bird-watching dad. Not dad, bird-watching father-in-law. He's like a dad to me. He's a weirdo, but I like him. You get to know a lot more bird shit than you ever wanted to, and you will be told it.
Yeah, but we went to meet Loki the raven just after lockdown lifted, because I booked it for before lockdown. So we called it Corvid.
COVID-19. Should we talk about Adele?
Yeah, so there were actually, for the first time since we've started this podcast, there were 3 singles released.
Yes, a
Get
normal
in.
album cycle.
You go, Adele. Woo!
That's how you do it. None of this fucking loads of singles leading up to an album that basically forms an album. Oh, that shit.
Yep, none of that. It was just a standard 3 single release. Thank you, Adele. You've gone back to tradition. We love you for it.
Tradition's an interesting word for that,
Yeah,
isn't it?
It really is. Like, it's the common consensus of how many singles should be on a typical commercial album, in my opinion. I might just be indoctrinated into that from a young age.
I think
but
you're just an old fogey. That's
Yeah.
the only problem.
Yeah, I know.
Although tradition's an interesting word to kind of describe the album, or Adele in a sense, because I don't think there is... Well, it doesn't feel like there are many artists that are doing what Adele does at the minute in that very... I'm not going to say, like, she's not a crooner, but she is just a woman that sings ballads. And I don't mean that to come across as, like, a derogatory kind of thing, but that is very much not the norm anymore. It was the norm for decades and decades and decades, and it's almost kind of a retro revival of the ballad singing woman.
From what I can see, this is the first female solo artist following on from Amy Winehouse, Duffy, those sorts of artists that were really big at the time and then disappeared. Of course, Amy Winehouse's untimely demise kind of killed her career. Duffy got kidnapped, which was a weird one.
That was a weird one.
We won't go into that because that has got nothing to do with the album, but Adele kind of filled that space that those sort of singers left.
And seems to have entirely populated it to the point that I don't think there are any artists even coming remotely near that level of success.
Especially not UK artists.
No.
In America, maybe, like the Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
But again, I mean, that's very polished pop, which this I don't think is. I don't think you could call it's pop music in a sense, but it's pop music in a retrospective sense. It's what would have been popular several decades before now. The kind of music that she's making. I mean, I'm just looking at the notes for the opening track on this album. I compared her, if anybody, more to Vera Lynn than I would to a Beyonce or a Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I can see that. Very much like, as you say, a kind of millennial crooner.
Yeah. The kind of people that like this, I think, really still like Michael Bublé without the irony. That is derogatory.
We are sorry, Michael Bublé, if you were offended by this. Please send complaints.
Is that it? Just please send them.
Yes, send them.
You know where to find us.
Exactly.
Bublé. I'll fight you in the Iceland car park.
After you've defrosted for winter.
Yeah, it's him and Mariah Carey sharing the same freezer in it. Should we talk about the goddamn album?
Yeah,
We've been putting this off.
So, this actually debuted at number 1 in more than 25 countries and was the world's best-selling album of 2021 and 2022.
Oh, I knew it was 21, but 22 as well.
Yep.
Oh.
Moving millions of copies globally and returning Adele to the top of major charts. It sold over 1.4 million copies in 2021 in America alone. And weirdly, because of the popularity of streaming, she got more streams for this album and sold less units than her prior albums, but still maintained that crown.
And still had the best-selling album of 2 years.
So this
in a
one
run.
technically wasn't as well purchased, but surpassed it on streams.
Which, if you're making that much, bear in mind the absolutely terrible artist rate that Spotify pipes out. To have still made bank off that is, well, I mean, it doesn't feel like any other artist could do that, really.
Especially not in the very height of streaming. Like, she made streaming her own. Considering that she said that she wasn't recording anything or releasing anything and not touring, and then came back and went, oh, by the way, I'm back. It just went haywire.
Because the tour for this album was absolutely massive. And I know this because my aunt and cousin could not get tickets to see Adele in this country and therefore had to fly to Germany.
Oh, wow.
To go and see her in Germany. I mean, they made a whole weekend of it. They had a nice time. But, the tour that accompanied this album, I mean, that kind of tells you the level of success that this person, ridiculously sell out massive venues. I'm fairly certain she did an American residency at one point.
Yeah, she was in Vegas.
Vegas. There you go. That kind of makes sense.
Why do I know that?
I mean, it just makes sense to me. If you're going to do residency, it would be in the entertainment capital of the States. But goddamn, this from an artist who, obviously now in her 30s, but had been recording since the age of 19, selected from being a backing singer of all things.
And I will say, the most comical part about all of it is when you compare her singing vocals to her spoken vocals. Because I've never heard such a variation between two styles. Like, she is so broad. Is it Essex? Is she from?
It's got to be in it.
Somewhere around London.
Strikes me as like that
proper sort of Cockney Essex sort of accent, and then to sing with the power that she has and so eloquently. Like, how do you do that switch?
The enunciation in her voice is really quite hypnotic. I mean, I think her best work was done for Skyfall, because that voice paired with the Bond movie was a match made in heaven. Proper Diamonds Are Forever level, iconic as it was. And I think she's incredibly talented. That cannot be understated. In that kind of vein, I mean, we talked about Florence and the Machine in a previous episode. Go and listen to that. And these two kind of feels like these titanic female vocalists. And the music has always been fine, not my cup of tea, but something you go, bloody hell, she can sing. It wasn't really working for me until Skyfall, and I was like, let's see if this trend continues. And to me, it didn't. I didn't mind Hello, and I didn't mind Rolling in the Deep, which I know predated Skyfall. But outside of that, I'm like, I don't gel with this. This ain't really my sort of music. So to be able to come in and evaluate the newest stuff with relatively fresh eyes was an interesting prospect.
I'm with you. I didn't really hear much Adele other than radio. I wasn't her target demographic by any way, shape, or form. I don't think she's targeting ginger blokes that like a bit of pop punk.
Specifically because she doesn't like you being ginger.
Yeah, she's just like, ugh. So yeah, this is my first proper foray into Adele, other than the tracks like you say, like Hello. Is it something Pavements?
Chasing Pavements.
She's got an incredible vocal range. Like, she's got a set of pipes on her, don't get me wrong. But I agree, like, I don't think that the instrumental was quite right with the tracks I've heard before. It's either been too much or too little. And what I will say about the album that we are actually covering, going back to topic, I do think that in quite a few tracks, they've got the level of instrumental right. It's stripped back. It's a bare bones, this is what I am sort of album, which is very reminiscent of the sort of her life that she was in while writing this album. And to that, I've got to applaud.
The thing that should be obvious to everybody, the most important piece of equipment, the most important instrument in this act is the vocal. So stripping back the instrumentals made a lot of sense and wasn't something that was really done on those first two albums as far as I remember. The third one, I know that Hello was pretty stripped back, and I think that's why I didn't mind it. So I'm kind of on the same page with you as that. I think with this one, and this is just me guessing, I feel like there's two ideas that are fighting against each other. And those ideas are, I want to make an album about my ongoing divorce, and I want to make an album where I do something other than crooning. And those two things butt up against each other the entire way through this record. And sometimes they work, and sometimes they do not.
Alongside that, there's another theme of messages that she wants to give to her son.
Yes.
So as part of the divorce, it's also what she wants to say to her ex, what she wants to say to her son, and show it's kind of like a time capsule of the events that were happening during that time.
I thought the narrative of saying this is an album that's trying to explain an emotional state to my son who won't yet understand it was good, up until it felt like the focus of the story kind of shifted to, I'm now talking about me for me, as opposed to me for my son. And I'm not sure whether the singular audience of whom I'm making this album for was consistent all the way through. And I think that's why towards the back end of the album, personally, I started to kind of drift off, really.
Well, what I will say on that note, like, I'm glad you brought that point up. As a child of divorce...
Sorry. I I know that this is an actual thing that happened in your life, but the phrase "child of divorce" has been forever ruined from me after Sam Campbell on Taskmaster just after asked if he could just ask questions, and then when Greg Davis says you got one, he turned around and went, "Are you a child of divorce?" I'm so sorry. Can you carry on?
It's all good. Oh God, you've made me lose me blooming point.
Sorry, mate.
It's all good. As a child of divorce, I can see why she went from that. This is a message for my ex and for my son to understand to this is me.
Okay.
Because what you don't think of when you see someone going through a divorce from both sides is people tend to stay together for the kids like my family did. And sometimes it's for the best. Sometimes it's definitely not. And then after that messy break where you've got to think about the kids, you've got to think about the ex, you also have to think about yourself, which is something that people don't really think about if they haven't seen or experienced it. You have to be a little bit selfish to put yourself back out there, to jump back into life. And I think sometimes that's what people miss. And I do think she's covered it quite well in this album. I'm not saying I enjoyed it personally, because there are a lot of points that made me think, Jesus, what a share. And it made me feel a bit like, ooh, this is a bit too much to be listening to at 8 o'clock in the morning while I'm driving to work. Do I want to crash into this wall now?
I'll tell you what, it made for some miserable fucking commutes, didn't it?
Oh, God, yeah, 100%. And I work from home.
Yeah.
Like, that commute was hard. Getting out of bed and getting into the kitchen to this was like, Jesus, do I butter the bread or do I butter the bath? Like,
oh boy. Yeah.
Anyway,
it's not a happy album.
It's not the happiest album, but I can understand the themes that she was going through. And safe to say, from what I've seen online, she's very happy now. Everything went to shit, but she picked it back up. She's happy with a new man. I think her kid is kind of realizing what's happened and probably got like a 90-inch TV in his bedroom with all the Fortnite points he could ever want. So I think there is a happy conclusion to the story. So, yeah, get all this out on an album, pour your heart out, show a few recordings that are a little bit too much, if you ask me. But yeah, get through it and you do you, boo. Like, I'm happy for you, babes.
Genuinely.
PM me.
Just checking in, hun.
Just checking in, hun. Message me. Oh, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, on fucking Facebook.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk
DM me, hun.
It's an interest. This is some emotional fucking.
Considering what we talked about before
I know.
we came into this recording, how we've gone down this hole, I do not know, but it makes for better listening than what I originally intended to do for this episode.
Yeah, no kidding. You know what? All of that is an interesting perspective because it's not something I considered because I am not, as Sam Campbell and you have said, a child of divorce. So I think I needed that kind of window into it to understand it. And again, I think understand is the word, not enjoy. And I'm not sure, and I know this is the wrong album, and I know that, Christine, you fucked up. But You done goofed. But I'm not sure this is an album that has been made to be enjoyed, which is not something I can say of albums with a similar tone, where I do feel like they have... I think albums can be made as a touchstone, and I think albums that can be made, I mean, as in the Porcupine Tree one, as a warning, but can still be enjoyable. Whereas I think this album is made as a form of therapy, but not an enjoyable one, certainly for me anyway.
I think she made it as her own catharsis. She made it because she wanted to, and there aren't many albums or artists out there that are willing to do that anymore. The amount of artists that release albums that they want to, like the record labels want them to make. Like me and you share a love for Don Brocco. Their second album nearly tore them apart because it's not what they wanted to make, it's what the record company wanted them to make. And after that, they realised, holy shit, why are we giving in to the man? We need to do what we want to do. And Adele has very much done that with this album of being, I want to release this, I want to record this message, I want to make this. Now, with all that being said,
yep,
and now we've covered all that, and I will say this also did win Brit Award for Best British Album of the Year.
It definitely did.
Which is insane. And also got an 88 out of 100 on Metacritic.
It was quite well revered, yes.
Along with 5 stars from Rolling Stone and the Daily Telegraph. And it was also ranked 10th on the BBC's 21 Best Albums of 2021. In the New York Times, get Lindsay Zolad's Best Album of 2021. No idea who you are, but congratulations. It also won the Danish Music Awards International Album of the Year.
Are you going to go through every accolade this
The
thing got?
Gaffer Awards Foreign Album of the Year, and iHeartRadio's Best Comeback Album and Pop Album of the Year. Must have been a bad year for music if this is winning Best Pop Album of the Year.
Here it comes.
Here it comes. We're going up against Olivia Rodrigo. Woo! Billie Eilish.
Only Olivia gets the cheer.
Pink Panthers.
Pink
How the hell did you say that name?
Pink Pantheress.
There we go. I've got a list.
The illegal girl. You know that meme at the minute?
No.
You've not seen that?
I am not down with the kids.
You've not seen the one where it's like it's two people like shaking hands and each one of them is
must be illegal.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Pink Pantheress.
Okay. So getting back into it, I've got strong feelings about this album. I won't necessarily say they're strong positive feelings.
No.
And equally not strong negative feelings. But I'd be keen to hear what your thoughts are about best track of the album.
I'm scrolling through all my notes and I am trying to find something where I'm at least wholly positive.
Okay.
And I am struggling to find one where I am wholly positive. I think the only one where I haven't written anything negative, not to say that the notes are positive, the only ones where I haven't written anything negative were Cry Your Heart Out and Can I Get It? And apart from that, I have something negative to say about the rest of the album.
Fair enough. I didn't write either of those in my top tracks. So.
Okay. Well, we'll cover them quickly then. So Cry Your Heart Out. Now, this is what I'm saying. The two, well, as we've now discovered, the three competing things going on in this album. One of them was Adele wanted to step away from doing just ballads.
Yep.
So pretty much after the lead single, which was a ballad, goes on to do interesting different styles. And this one to me kind of had that bit more of a 50s doo-wop kind of Ronette style thing going on. You've got the three-tone, is it called tritone, three-tone? I don't know. You've got those backing vocals. Bit
of jazzy.
Yeah,
like
it is.
You're going to do jazz hands.
It's very like late 40s, early 50s inspiration. You know, birth of the popular music and the moped kind of era. Also, weirdly, a little bit ragga. I don't know what's going on there. It did seem like there was a bit of interpolation of we're jamming. Genuinely, I could hear that.
Well, the thing is, the new sort of crowd that she's with while she's living in America are very heavily influenced by that sort of side.
That would make sense.
Like, her new partner is a black man.
Okay.
So that sort of influence may be like feeding in. Like, if he was part of like her life while she was writing this, maybe like she's got more of a theme around that because she was done for cultural appropriation as well.
Oh god, did she wear dreads?
She had box braids.
Oh.
And when she went to, I think it was Carnival.
I was saying that as a gag. I didn't
No,
think
no, she. But I seem to remember a picture of her wearing a Jamaica bikini top,
right,
with box braids, and it kind of made the internet go on fire.
Right.
I found the picture. So
Okay.
here we go. This is what she got in trouble for. Sorry, it wasn't box braids. It was.
Okay, that's not great, is it?
It's not the greatest look.
No.
It was Bantu knots. I apologize. I'm not familiar with Afro-Caribbean hairstyles, so I got that wrong. But she did get a lot of flack for wearing that. I think it was Carnival in London.
Okay. On a scale from Balagda to what's his name? Justin Trudeau, the Canadian guy who dressed up as Aladdin. Like,
oh yeah,
on that scale, it's probably like closer to Justin Trudeau. I think it's not quite blacking up, but like it's not great.
I will say that Adele probably will have the ragga themes from the sort of company that she's with now, where she has got more sort of black influences in her life because she's living in America as well and listens to that sort of music and takes it on board. So,
and again, I didn't expect to hear it, so it was nice to hear it. I don't think the song was really like really speaking to me. You know what I mean? But then again, I'm not a woman in her 30s having gone through a divorce whilst having, you know, a multi-million-pound property portfolio. We kind of come from different walks of life. Sorry, I don't know what that voice was.
Was that your Adele impression? It was
No,
very wrong. What? I've got a 90-inch television on my wall, governor.
On every wall, because I'm minted. So it was... I can't even get back into it. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's absolutely fine. It was interesting to hear a different style. I didn't hate it. And that is basically the same feeling I have about Can I Get It, which is, you know, if I'm going to criticize it, and I am, it couldn't feel more like chasing chart placement. But a lot of the elements there weren't distinctly Adele, which obviously challenge yourself, make something new, always appreciated. And they are 2010s chart tropes, so raspy voice, random brass arrangement, fucking whistling over pre-programmed drum machines. It's a 2010s chart song, which is what she wasn't doing in 2010, so it kind of felt like she was able to go, look, I can do that and all. So I appreciate it for that reason, and that reason alone.
I have a note on that song.
Okay.
Re-listen to it and tell me that it isn't Saved Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry. It is the same build-up, that same acoustic start with a slightly different interpolation, and it is very much...
Oh, God, I can hear it.
Saved Tonight.
Yeah, he did it. And then Saved Tonight. Yeah, it's just slowed down, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a modern take on Saved Tonight by Eagle Eye Cherry.
Oh, God, it is.
I heard that for 2 seconds and went, oh my God, I know this song.
Yeah.
And I didn't, because I'd never heard it before, but I knew the song that it's similar to.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, I don't know whether that makes it better or worse, because I actually quite like Eagle Eye Cherry.
Me too. That's how I could recognise it. Maybe that's why you like the song.
Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe you want to fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be gone.
I can't do the lyrics to that, otherwise I'd join in. The rest of the album I very much had either I sleep or I actively don't like this shit.
Well, I have a couple of tracks that I want to discuss as well. So I've gone with Easy on Me.
Okay. The John Legend-esque ballad at the end. Sorry.
Yep. And Oh My God.
Okay.
So
right.
Easy on Me, I can see why it was the lead single of the album. I think maybe it was it was one of the more played tracks. Maybe that's why I've heard it a little bit more. Maybe why I like it a little bit more, because that's how it happens.
One of the 3 singles.
But I do love the simple piano backing. I think that's very much suits her over these huge orchestral or sort of rockier styles. Her voice range is perfect for even a cappella. I feel like it's got a great build up through that half of the song, but it's still not too OTT to overpower her vocals. As I say, she's got a set of pipes. Let's show him. Let her voice do the talking, unlike the production that quite a few albums go through, where they're layering, and having like 15 different versions of her vocal, like shouting at each other to say something different. No, this is pure. This is my voice. This is a piano. Sorted. And then, Oh My God, strong beat and a stronger showing of her vocal range. I think it's a bit of a throwback to her earlier works.
It feels like there are kind of vocal lilts and rises in this that are very early Adele. That kind of thing. That kind of like, it's not an arpeggio, but it's like kind of like a... You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I'm not that musically minded, but I know little bits.
And then I had one last one, sorry. I Drink Wine.
Oh, really?
I thought it was quite an easy track to listen to.
Okay.
And I like it because I feel like it'd be good on stage.
Yeah.
I feel like if you saw that one in a concert, especially an open air sort of festival, that would be an absolute worldie to listen to.
It'd be interesting for sure.
And that's my only note on that one. I don't like, in terms of the album, sitting down and listening to him, I could listen to it. It's not one I'd actively choose to go out my way and go, oh, I really want to listen to that. But I feel like the presence that the song has, I'd love to see it live.
I get that, because I think certainly with I Drink Wine, I mean, first off, the title is the most I'm going through a divorce title you could have written.
Or she's just thirsty.
I wanted a drink when I
wanted a vino. Anyone got the Prosecco in?
For it is always Prosecco. Women be shopping. No, I'm not going to.
Wow.
But no, there is kind of it is more nostalgic, this, which fits more into the mold, but it's not exact. it feels kind of like jilted songstress, kind of like post-World War One kind of thing, like early jazz era, in the way that it kind of feels like it's been staged in the soundscape, if you know what I mean.
Sort of Stevie Nicks' new generation.
I mean, Stevie Nicks is not that old, but...
You know what I mean? It's like a new generation of Stevie Nicks sort of storytelling in song.
I mean, in terms of the...
Like a gilded musician that's been gilded by someone.
Yeah.
But
you don't mean that Stevie Nicks is over 100 years old, because she ain't.
No, I wasn't saying that. I meant like it's a modern day telling. Like Stevie Nicks, the bulk of her writing was done in the 70s, and it's like a modern telling of that. It's the same sort of story.
It's the same kind of character.
Yeah,
I get that. Certainly from
it's like a modern day telling of the sort of stories that she'd be telling in the 70s.
Yes, but I mean, just due to the nature of the album, there is that kind of like kind of jump forward in time.
Yeah.
The story kind of telling. Anyway, is that all we have nice to say? I think that might be all we have nice to say.
I feel like it is. Do you want me to start with the dislikes? Or?
I mean, do you want me to start on the dislikes of the ones that you've mentioned? No, you go first. You know what? It's all you, babe. You go.
Okay, I'll do my first track that I dislike. And then you can do yours, and I'll go into my most hated track and a story.
Okay.
So there's 2 tracks I've got on my dislikes list.
Go on.
I could have featured more, but I wanted to keep it down a little bit. Yep. So my first one is My Little Love.
I fucking hate this song.
So, I'm not a fan of the music. The actual music itself, I think, is awful. I hate the interlacing of the voicemail.
Oh, I can't stand that.
Especially, like the part where she's breaking down. I can understand the theme of it, and I understand it fits the theme perfectly, but fucking hell, it made me want to drive into a bridge.
Oh,
like
God.
it's not something I choose to listen to. It's out there, don't get me wrong, and like fair play to her if that's a real voicemail from when she was going through it and she's released that to the world. Fair play to you, love, but not something I necessarily want to hear on an album.
Nah.
It's far too slow for me as well, and just something I'd actively choose to skip.
Oh, yeah, 100%. The notes that I've made are, and I quote directly, fuck all the way off with this self-pitying bullshit. Like, it's just...
Hey, at least I'm fair in a mic.
Nah, I don't want to be fair.
He ain't holding back.
We
Adele fans, come for Mike, not me.
Bring it on. We get it. You had a divorce. You feel bad that it's good. Your kids are going to have to fucking bear it. You are still a multi-platinum selling artist with all the resources necessary to make this split happen a lot fucking easier. I do not need to hear your recordings with this over-engineered fucking reverb on it and the most self-wank fucking crying in my mansion dog shit. Like, the bits where she's talking to a kid may or may not be the right thing, right? But, like, all of this fucking overproduced. It's Sam Smith crying on the footsteps of his fucking £1 million mansion. I don't care, you rich bitch. I do not care.
If you wanted to give a better message to your son, you could have bought a Build-A-Bear.
Take the kid out for a Happy Meal.
Buy him a burger, get him some V-Bucks, and buy him a new TV. And maybe leave him a voicemail, not your public.
Did you know that before they sold donuts, Tim Hortons sold burgers?
This episode is brought to you by the coffees that I bought pre-show.
Yes. I'm enjoying the French vanilla, and we're not sponsored.
We've decided that anytime we have an album that kind of tenses us and we come out with such verbal tirades as Mike has just exhibited, that we're going to bring you random facts about potential chains that we might be enjoying at the time. Would you like to give us another one before we go into your second track that you dislike?
Yeah, sure. The real Tim Horton actually died 10 years into the chain's existence. Mr. Horton died on February the 21st, 1974, aged only 44 years old. Died in a vehicle crash just hours after playing a losing hockey game.
Wow. I thought that was going to be a funny, I died in a syrup accident. Or,
I was going to make a point about how it's all the negative energy has been infecting the facts, but the word syrup accident caught me off guard a little bit.
He was wearing a syrup.
He was wearing a syrup. Well, like a suit.
Toupee.
I would too.
It's a syrup?
He'd...
You never heard it referred to as
No, I've never heard it referred to as a syrup. I'm not street.
Neither am I. I'm ginger.
No, this is Patrick. Anyway, fuck it out.
Anyway, would you like me to go into my most disliked track?
Please,
or-
I'm going to have to do more facts if you don't, so carry on.
Okay, so the track that I hated more than anything else on the rest of this album was To Be Loved.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, so I cannot get past this song. At this point, who knows what Adele will sing, but this just feels way too OTT. She's got an incredible range, but I do not want to hear her squealing the words "to be loved" for 2.5 minutes. I wrote this down on a post-it note and literally just wrote "to be loved equals whiny as fuck." My other half come into the room and said, "What is this note?" I was like, "Oh, I need to explain. Yeah, that song Adele wrote called To Be Loved is whiny as fuck." And I played it for her and she went, "Your post-it note is right."
Yeah, it is.
On the first playthrough, I was this close to skipping that song. I've never skipped a song in this podcast history on the first playthrough. And I was sat there doing work and listening to it. And I was like, what the is this song? Why am I listening to somebody?
Swear.
I know, but I was trying not to. Trying to be better. It was bollocks. Like, I just could not. And I've had listens since, and I'm like, every time I get to that song, it's like, why? It cut it off at 2 minutes, sorted. But that last, like, little outro where she's just squealing to be loved as high as physically possible. Oh.
I thought the back half of this album, really, from All Night Parking onwards, was the same fucking song being repeated over and over again.
With slightly different rhythms.
Basically. It's like she gotten through, like, the messages of the album that she wanted to get through in, like, the first 5 or 6 tracks, and then just decided to make, like you say, just fucking mewling into the night, repeated absolute crap. I will say, though, My Little Love was 100% the bigger offender for me. I think To Be Loved is a close second. And the only other one where I'd felt a negative vibe only because it felt, I don't know, exploitative might be the wrong word, but it's the word I'm going to use, was actually the opener, Strangers by Nature. I said at the top of the episode, it gives that virulent vibe because I think it's basically nostalgia wank. And I do think it's taking the crooning back to its absolute fucking roots. It's going, look, I can be Nat King Cole and Taylor Swift. And I don't need it. I don't feel as strongly negatively and full of bile about it. I just go, I think this is just over-appealing for the sake of over-appealing. You remember when music used to be singers, right? Kind of getting that 40 to 50 plus crowd on side.
100%.
And just, I wouldn't say it's gross, but I do feel it's just trite.
Just too much.
It is. To be honest with you, I could have just named the whole back half of the album from All Night Parking onwards, because I enjoyed nothing about that onwards. I stopped making notes, and I think I'd literally just put wank after every single one. I was not having a good time.
Well, did you know that some of the staff that work in Tim Hortons in Kandahar in the Middle East are trained for potential attacks?
Oh, from what?
From war. From war, Mike.
Yeah, but did you know that Tim Hortons has actually also partnered with Wendy's, Cold Stone, and Burger King in the past?
That's nice.
That's nice.
They were taught how to defend themselves against the Taliban. They were taught how to react in the case of a nuclear disaster, landmines, hostage situations, or biological weapons.
The question, I mean, what the fuck are they going to do about any of those things?
Throw donuts. Timbit, away!
Random bullshit, go. The question is like, are they the only branch?
No, there's 300.
So every branch gets this training?
There's specific ones that are closer to the heart of the Taliban.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Anyway, so with all that in mind and
Yep.
these incredible Tim Hortons facts,
Yes.
am I right in assuming that we are putting this to the very bottom of the skip, setting it on fire and hoping that it never resurfaces.
Here's the thing, right?
Yes.
Yes, but also I still don't think it's as bad as Ed Sheeran, weirdly. I still think there's more to admire here than 12 cheesy singles.
So I think it's on par, because with Ed Sheeran, it was his debut album, and the reason I had such disdain for it was because it was very different to the stuff that he got popular with when he launched it. With Adele, this is her bread and butter. It was a chance to showcase her vocal skill, and she went too much with it, and it grated on me. I could sit and listen to Ed Sheeran more than I could Adele, but saying that at the same time, I've blocked Ed Sheeran on Spotify, and I'm not going to look to block Adele, so I don't know what that says about it.
Yeah. It doesn't stop you getting all the... we should say we are hosted by Spotify, but we're not affiliated with them, so we can rag on their platform all we like. Why do I still get notifications and emails to listen to the newest Ed Sheeran album, despite the fact he's blocked? If I click on that album, I can't see a damn thing.
It's because we listened to him so much in the last 6 months.
Oh, is that
it's
what
an
it is?
Algorithm.
So much. I did one listen through.
You've typed his name in. You've listened to him.
That's it.
You're in the algorithm.
I've ruined it. I've ruined my algorithm. This is like when you look even for 2 seconds on a reel on Instagram that contains a woman, and then the algorithm goes, "It's tits time."
Woo, tit time.
I only watch memes and dog videos. I don't want this.
I'm the same with rats and hamsters.
Oh man.
God. This has been difficult.
It wasn't fun.
It wasn't fun. I've got nothing but respect for Adele, and she's had some incredible work, and I'm sorry to her fan base if it feels like we're ragging on her. We're not on her talent. We're just on this album. It was way too much. I don't understand how it got Best Album 2021 and 2022. If I had to listen to it that much and purchase it that much, I think I'd have crashed into a train bridge by now.
Yeah, we would definitely have ended our lives one way or another, that's for certain. It's just too, like you say, too much. It's just, to me, emotionally, you are just on a slide through this album, and not the fun kind of helter-skelter. It is just a 90-degree drop into depression. And you know what? I don't need that right now.
Nobody needs that right now.
I don't think anybody does. I'm glad that you got it out, and I'm glad you tried something different, and I'm glad you did what you thought was the right thing to do. And you clearly were very successful, and a lot of people, I would say basic people, enjoyed this. But my God, this is so easily going in that skip.
Completely agree. And I'm going to pick the spirits back up now with a track of the week,
Hey!
which we've skipped for a few weeks.
It's back.
And I'm going to give a good version of a song called To Be Loved by Papa Roach. Because, whoa, never give in.
Whoa, never give up.
Whoa, never gonna. So I just want to be loved. There we go.
We've seen them live.
We have seen them live. They were great.
Like, we said that in tandem. That was weird. But they were fucking good. And that's a good track.
When do you reckon it come out?
Oh, God. Now. Because wasn't that used for the wrestling?
I don't know. I never watched wrestling.
One of their songs was, and it was one. Like, it's not like Last Resort, which is what you think it would be. I feel like it might be that was used for the wrestling. So I'm going to say that was 2003.
2006.
Bugger me dead. I thought I got that right. And we end on a depressing note. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so, sorry, Christine. You kind of knew this was coming, though, so you've got nobody but yourself to blame. I am not sorry. Fight me in the office.
I would say, feel free to send us some more Adele albums, but please do not send us any more Adele albums for now.
If you got something that would bring our spirits up, or at the very least give us something not as depressing to listen to, you can send that over to us at skippod@gmail.com. That's SKIPD pod@gmail.com. You don't use the E. Or you can go do the link tree. It is the link on all of our socials, and it's linktree.ee/skippedpod, spelt the same as it is in the email address. We'd love to get your suggestions, although those suggestions are mounting up. So thank you for everybody that sent in suggestions. We will get to you in good time if the wheel of fate lands on your album.
Yes, we promise we are trying to get through them. There are a lot of albums in the list. We currently, at time of recording, have 61. And when this one's done, we will have covered 12 of them, which is, let me do some quick maths, just under 20% of the albums that we've had submitted.
Yeah, you've come out in force. We love you for it. So keep it tuned. You can't tune the internet, but we like using old phrases, just like Adele likes using old song styles to drag in the Mumsnet people. One last shot before the end. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.